question, Mr. President, has to do with the spate of insecurity, the increasing insecurity, with some references to fresh issues at stake and suggestion on way forward so as to create an atmosphere of confidence within the citizenry. For there appear to be a growing concern for the collapse of security for our people. And I think the suggestion will help us move forward so that we'll be able to collaborate with the various security apparatus to find a common ground.
Okay.
Security is a common event within our body politics. Everybody appears to be conscious of this. But Mr. President, I want us to note as a Senate that the rate of insecurity in the country has not only increased astronomically, but has reached a melting point. This challenge melts or manifests in varied forms. It manifests in kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery, assassination, and a host of other criminal activities. Mr. President, the recent assassination of the chairman of APC in Nasarawa State, which is one of the high-profile assassinations, is still very fresh in our memories. A Chinese national a fortnight ago was abducted in my community, who are involved in road construction. And as I speak now, his whereabout is still unknown. Worried that there is growing suspicion of complicity of officials who are saddled with the responsibility of protecting lives and properties of the citizens, but compromised in the process. This is heightened by arrest of several security operatives involved in armed robbery, kidnapping activities across the country. It's only in Nigeria, Mr. President, that communication facilities can be used without biometric process, no valid identification of passport details in the case of foreigners, and in a place so as to check abuse of this process. Bandits, terrorists negotiate for ransom using telephones and getting away with it. Mr. President, how can we be so negligent as a people and as leaders, all of us, and insensitive to the safety and security of our citizens? That Senate is concerned that the confidence between the protected and the protector is being increasingly eroded, resulting to breakdown of law and order, as demonstrated in the NSAS protest, which was subsequently hijacked by miscreants. And today, we are paying for it. Further note, Mr. President, that the political permutations across the landscape is also attracting politicians to recruit criminals for the purpose of destabilizing the corporate existence of our country. This evil intent can be easily achieved given the poor control over communication facility, this inability of our security apparatus and service providers to effectively manage this all-important sector. Mr. President, arising from this, I want to highlight as the main focus of this motion that this Senate summoned the Minister of Communication accordingly to interface with our standing committee, whether an ad hoc committee to be set up for this purpose, to interface with the various service chiefs and communication minister and service providers so as to fine-tune the usage of these communication facilities. I so move, Mr. President.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President,
My high of insecurity in this country of recent, of course, has been noticed by all and sundry. It has become a very, very serious and protracted issue. This distinguished chamber will note that because of the prominence and priority this distinguished Senate accorded to the issue of security, that was the first issue that we dealt with across party lines by setting up a high-powered ad hoc committee to look into this matter. That ad hoc committee interacted with all the security-related institutions that the deputy leader of the minority has talked about. We interacted with the Minister of Communications, we interacted with the military, we interacted with the security organs, we interacted with the paramilitary, we interacted with all the intelligence agencies, and came up with a copious report that was unanimously endorsed by all the senators of the Federal Republic. In addition to the summary of this report, which was passed on to the government for action, I personally circulated that document, that report that was endorsed by this distinguished chamber to the Minister of Defense, to the National Security Advisor, to the Director of DSS, to the Minister of the Interior, to all, and even Minister of Communications. And the recommendations in this report are very well directed and practical. Therefore, I will suggest that the issue that this motion is raising, particularly the issue of interfacing with the Minister of Communication, has been well taken care of, I think with about 2 pages of that report. So I will rather say that the resolution should be that the Minister of Communication should look into the recommendations of the Senate regarding the implementation of the security and communication arrangement that has been made in the Senate document for implementation. I think that's the issue, because all the issue that you are raising is an implementation issue. Therefore, the issue is the Minister of Communication to look into the recommendations on the implementation of the suggestions of this Senate regarding that particular matter. With this, Mr. President, I raise my case.
This particular Senate, for so many times, debated the issue of insecurity in this country. This Senate held a security summit. Mr. President, this Senate held a security summit. In the last Senate, you who is presiding today was the chairman of that committee. For 1 week, a security summit took place, and all the security chiefs were invited, and they told us in clear terms what was happening and what is happening in the country. This Senate, again, in this particular session, under the chairmanship of the Senate leader today, held a security summit, and far-reaching resolutions were taken in addition to the ones taken the last time. So far, I don't know, as I stand here to speak, what has been done to the resolutions that we took in this summit that the Senate held. And we keep on hearing stories of people being kidnapped, people being killed. The last one, of course, as mentioned by the mover of this motion, was the one that took place in Nasarawa State. Our highly revered chairman of the APC was kidnapped from his house and was killed not too far from his house. And these are the stories we hear every day, every day. Either people are killed in Ibadan, or they are killed in Benin, or they are killed along the road. A lot of killings are taking place every day, Mr. President. I want to support the position taken by the Senate leader, because we have virtually done everything. All that needs to be done, we have done here. And therefore, this patriotic motion of Senator Bwacha, Deputy Leader, Minority Leader of the Senate, be referred to the minister to take cognizance of the resolutions that we took. That document speaks all about the insecurity in this country. And therefore, Mr. President, if there's anything to be done, we have to ensure, I'm sure there is a senior committee on compliance. Let the senior committee on compliance, I'm sure it's a standing committee on compliance of senior resolutions, do the work and let Nigerians benefit from what we are being paid to do here, Mr. President. So I support this motion, but the amendment brought by the senior leader is germane and is very, very important, so that let's see what will happen. It is important on behalf of all our people. The state of insecurity is becoming very, very alarming. Mr. President, I support the motion, and I urge all my colleagues to support this very important motion by Senator Emmanuel Bwacha.
Thank you very much. I think I share the same sentiments with leader and Senator Jones Manager. We are not going to set up an ad hoc committee just to interface with the Minister of Communications on this. I would suggest that our Senate Committee on Communications should invite the Minister and ensure that he implements those provisions or those resolutions we have passed in the last Senate and in this Senate as well on how the communications subsector would aid in the fight against the insecurity that we have been facing. So, Senate Leader, hi. Please allow the Senate Leader to concentrate. Senate Leader. Leader, just hold on. I think we need to amend the prayer.
Amendment.
Instead of the ad hoc committee, to set our ad hoc committee, which is unnecessary, let's make it our committee on communications.
Communications and the two joint committees on legislative compliance and communications to invite the Minister of Communication with a view to imploring on him to implement the recommendations and resolutions of the Senate, in the area, in his area of mandate on matter of security.
Seconder, Senator Jones Manager.
Very naturally, Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by the Senate leader. Thank you, Mr. President.
So, distinguished colleagues, there is only one prayer, and that is the one amended. And I'll put the question that the Senate Committee on Communications and Legislative Compliance interface with the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy to ensure the implementation of the recommendations of the Senate on the fight against insecurity as it relates to his ministry. Those in favor say aye. Those against any, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. Senator Nicholas Tofomo.